So, okay, I'll just ask you some questions.
Sure.
I know you have a very successful career. You've been working at the same company over 30 years and 35 years. And being a VP, wow, that's a really achievement. So, may I ask you, what's the reason makes you successful as your career?
I think I have a quality that I inherited from my father. And my father had a very inquisitive mind. And I also have a very inquisitive mind. I have a lot of interests. And I think having an inquisitive mind and asking lots of questions and wanting to learn as much as I could, I think really set me up for, a successful life. Because it has its disadvantages too, because when you have so many interests in life, it's hard to sometimes focus on one thing. But I've always had an interest to learn and to grow myself. And I think that's helped me be successful, because in those learnings over the years, I've met a lot of people, I've learned a lot of things, and it's prepared me for life. And even later in my career, when I was very established in my career, I still had this passion to learn. So every day I came to work, I always tried to learn something new. And normally I could go home every day and say to myself, even though I've been in this job for so many years and I'm a professional in my field, I'm always open to learning, and every day I learn something new. And I think that's the motivation that helped me be successful, is I looked at everything in my life as an opportunity, rather than having the attitude of like, I know everything and no one can tell me anything.
Yeah.
So I think that has always helped me, and I think having that trait, that hunger for wanting to learn and continue my education in life, even though I'm not talking about university, but I'm talking about life's learnings. To me, that was very important. And I think that's what kept me going all these years and gave me the energy to jump out of bed every day and get excited about going to work, because every day was a new experience for me. Even though I was in the same company for many years and had kind of the same type of job, I never stopped learning.
That's great. Yeah. But I remember you guys mentioned you wish you had the brain right now, and if you go back to your 30s, what kind of advice you would give to your younger self?
I don't know that I would change anything, to be honest. I had one problem in life, and I had this problem when I was in my 20s. I had this problem in my 30s, and I'm in my 60s now, and I still have the same problem. And you know what that problem is?
What is that?
I don't know what I want to do when I grow up.
You don't know what you want to do when you grow up?
Yeah. If that makes sense to you? I sit here today, well, let's go back 6 months ago when I was working in my career. I kept on asking myself, is this really what I want to do in my life? Or is there something else out there that I haven't discovered yet that I want to go do? So even though I was successful in my job, I always questioned, is this really my passion? Is this really what I want to do?
Yeah.
And it goes back to having this curious mind, right? I'll tell you a story. When I was very young, I came from a family with 4 children, and I was the youngest child. And one night we were having dinner, and my brother, my oldest brother, he was probably, at that time, maybe he was 11 or 12 years old. At the dinner table one night, he declared to everybody that when he grew up, he wanted to be a wildlife biologist. And everyone went, yeah, okay, sure. You're 11 years old and you're telling us now what you want to do? And he was very serious. He said, yeah, I want to be a wildlife biologist. Do you know that he went on to become a wildlife biologist? He went to university, got advanced degrees, and his whole life he worked in that field, or it was related to that field. He knew at the age of 11 what he wanted to do in life. I'm 68 years old. I still don't know what I want to do with my life.
Yeah, me too. I have that feeling as well. I don't know what.
It's not that I'm dissatisfied with my life. It's not like I don't feel I accomplished anything. I think I had a pretty successful career. But at the back of my mind, I'm still thinking, this is really not my passion. There's something else out there that I haven't found yet, and I'm still looking for it. And I've been looking for it for 68 years. And when people hear me say that, they say, "You're crazy. You know, you've had a good career, you've been successful. Why do you feel this way?" It's because I have an inquisitive mind. I feel like there's something around the corner that's waiting for me, but I haven't discovered it yet. And then one day I'm going to go, I found it. But I know truthfully I'm never going to find it.
Why? Why you know truthfully you're never going to find it?
Well, it's taken me 68 years and I haven't found it yet. So my confidence of finding what that is, I don't know what it is.
But sometimes you feel you found it, right? Do you ever have the feeling that you got that kind of feeling? Oh, I found it. This is it. And because people change their mind. I mean, when I was a kid.
Yeah, there are times I think, oh, okay, this maybe this is it. But then I realize, no, that's really not it. So it's not that I don't enjoy what I'm doing career-wise. I've always had passion, and I've always thrown myself at my job and give it 110%. You know. But deep down, I'm always thinking, this is really not what I want to do. I really, there's something out there that I haven't discovered yet that I think is really my passion.
Yeah.
But I haven't found it yet. And even now that I'm retired, and I'm not looking for a job and my career is essentially over with, I should be here enjoying my retirement. But there's this thing in the back of my head saying, it's still looking for something out there that I haven't found yet. And I don't know what it is.
Yeah, just keep going, keep trying.
And I think maybe it's just because I'm very driven in my approach to life, and I'm always looking for what's that next thing I'm going to go do.
Right. Maybe you find it, because for my experience, when I was a child, I have so many dreams, different dreams in different periods. And once I did that, I felt, maybe it's not exactly what I want, because once you did that, you feel you achieved that, you will change your mind. Is that your case? Maybe?
Yeah, I remember about 10 years ago, I almost felt like I discovered my passion. And I think it was related to my job, but I used to travel a lot. And I have such a fascination for so many different things. I mean, if you describe to me how they make this metal cap for this pepper, and what the engineering is and how they machine this cap, I'd be so interested to find out. Show me how they make this, what's the process to make it. I find that very interesting. But at the same time, if you wanted to talk to me and tell me about the life of an ostrich and its breeding habits and how an ostrich survives in the wild, I'm equally just as interested in that. So I have such this diversity of interest. It's no one thing that really I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about everything in life. And that's my problem.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't ever feel satisfied that I know enough. I have this hunger to learn more. So about 10 years ago, I thought to myself, maybe my calling in life, I wanted to become a pilot and fly a big commercial aircraft. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what, because I love flying and I love the technical aspect of flying and aircraft. And then I realized, well, I don't have a very good eyesight. I'm 50 years old. It's too late in my life to begin a career as a pilot. That's just not realistic. It's not going to happen. So, after a few months, that idea kind of faded away. So I go through life thinking, I think I know what I want to go do. But then I find that it's not practical, right? There's too many challenges to go make that change. And as I got older, I realized that I'm probably just going to have to be content with what I do now. But deep inside, there's always that passion and interest to go do something else and go look for that something that I've never been able to find. And I think that's what's kept me going all these years. It's just having that interest. Everything interests me. Everything. And I go through these phases in life when if you go to my home, it looks like a museum because I collect so many different things. But I'll be interested in one thing for maybe a year, and then my interest shifts, and then I'm interested in something else. So that's just me. I have a curious mind.
Yeah, maybe that's just you. Do you have any major regrets in your life?
I never figured out what I wanted to do when I grew up. That's my biggest regret, I think. I still think there's something out there that I haven't discovered.
I remember you telling me before that if you go back to your younger self, you won't change anything. Like the advice you give to your younger self, you won't change anything.
I don't think so. I mean, I think throughout one's life you make silly decisions and you make mistakes. But so long as you learn from that and you don't repeat those mistakes and you use it as a learning opportunity. But no, I don't think I would change anything.
Yeah.
There were certain things that I did in my life because the situation dictated that. It didn't give me other options, and I had some regrets about that. But this is life, right? You just go with the flow.
Yeah.
You have a strategy and you have an objective, and as long as you're moving in the same direction or in the right direction, that's all that really matters. So I don't have any regrets. My only regret is that I was married to my job, and I put that before everything else, and I think that's probably one thing I would change.
Any advice for younger people, like the younger generation?
Follow your passion.
Follow passion.
Have a plan.
Plan of life.
Stay focused on what your dreams are. Don't give up. Don't listen to other people around you who tell you that you can't accomplish certain things. Whatever you put your mind to, you can accomplish.
As long as you want to accomplish, you will accomplish.
And you remember my quote I said to you, my favorite quote?
Yeah. Follow your heart.
Steve Jobs, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. I think that's very important. You know, if you come to work every day in a job that you don't enjoy, working on something you don't really enjoy, how are you going to be great at that?
Yeah, but what if I used to enjoy and now I don't?
But there were probably circumstances beyond your control that made you feel that way, like you didn't have a good boss.
Yeah, or you just...
But you were actually good in your job.
Or maybe
and you enjoyed your job, right?
Yeah, used to. But what if I get bored of that job because you have been doing the same thing for so many years? You don't really have growth out of that job. Just keep doing the same thing.
Possibly. I never had that problem. I could always see where the next progression in my career was going to be, and the ability to learn more and expand more. I mean, you know, when I look at my career, what I ended up doing in my career has got absolutely nothing to do with my academic background. I think that provided a foundation for me, but it was not what I ended up doing in my whole career. I moved into management and a leadership role, and I wasn't in the day-to-day technical side of my job, even though I had that background. But I was always looking for that next opportunity, and I would prepare myself for that. You know, when my management came to me and said, "Hey, is anyone interested in taking on this assignment?" I was always the first person to put up my hand, because if it was something new and something that I could learn from, I was willing to take that risk. I had a reputation, in fact, in my company where the crappiest jobs that no one wanted, I was always the one who would volunteer to go do them. Because the reason why people didn't want those jobs is that either they were going to be sent to a part of the world where they didn't want to go to, or they knew the job was very difficult and they just didn't want to deal with it. To me, I saw that as an opportunity, and I thought, well, yeah, it's a tough job and I don't want to go live in a third world country, but boy, I can probably come out of it having learned a lot, and that's just going to prepare me for whatever that next opportunity is. And that's what I did. I took the jobs that people didn't want, and I was the fixer. I came in and fixed the problems, and then when that was resolved, then I moved on to another challenge and another challenge. Every job I took was a challenge. I never took a lateral job. And it wasn't the money or the title that attracted me, it was the opportunity and the challenge that attracted me. It wasn't the money.
Yeah, that's also what I'm looking for, I guess.
Now, unfortunately, as a result of that, I ended up dragging my family around the world.
Yeah.
My poor kids, they were third culture kids. They lived in, every 2 to 4 years, they were moving to a new country. They had to make new friends, and for them, I think it was very difficult. But I would argue they probably got more out of those international experiences than what they could have ever got out of the classroom.
Yeah, of course.
And my kids have all grown up now. Their viewpoint of the world is very different.
Yeah, of course, they have very international experience.
I know people, and I'm not I'm not finding fault with this, but I know people who grow up in one town, they go to school there, they go to university there, they get married there, they have a family there, and they die there. And they never leave. Well, they may go on a vacation somewhere for a few weeks. They're not comfortable living anywhere else. And that's great if they want to be around family and being in a familiar environment. That's great. Everyone is different. I would go crazy if I had to do that. I wanted to get out and explore the world and see how the other half of the world goes. To me, that was exciting.
You had a very nice life in general.
Interesting life, for sure.
Very interesting, successful career. Yeah, you should just keep enjoying, keep exploring. That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.